We're live.
Can you hear us? Nicola said we're live.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, we're live.
Have they said
Yeah,
it?
it says we're live.
Yeah, but can you read anyone saying, yeah, they can hear us?
Can anybody hear us out there?
It's such a while since we did it. I said to Nicola before, do you still remember how to do it? And she said, what do you think? Being the tech queen that she is.
Yeah, nobody's saying anything yet. So, hello.
Hello, everybody. So Nicola's been reading out who's here.
So we've got Wayne Bigfoot Woodcraft, Cy Smith.
Hi, guys.
David McClernand.
Hi.
Stace Makes.
Hi, Stace.
Wayne the Wood Turner.
Right, Wayne.
Leona Faye.
Hi, Leona.
Circular Wood by Keith.
Circular Wood by Keith.
Yeah, I think everyone can hear us now.
Right, okay.
So,
well, welcome back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, at home with the Fishers. So
the revival,
and slightly amended. Who was it? Wayne Bigfoot. He did say, "Oh, and hopefully Maker Monday will be coming back." Well, we can tell you it's not. No, we haven't factored that in. And the fact that you've got Maker Radio now interviewing makers in the community and sort of like asking them questions, and so really we're letting sort of like Maker Radio and Dave G and Joe sort of like take the mantle for a bit, and it's such a great format. It's like the Desert Island Discs. So we're not going to do Maker Monday. So yeah, to listen to your favorite makers, have a Q&A.
Yeah.
Go to Maker Radio.
And I'm on. Yeah. I've done one with Dave G, and yours should be coming up. I'm not sure when. Maybe the next fortnight it'll be coming up.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So yeah, the At Home with the Fishers, we're just be doing an hour on a Monday night from 7:30 till 8:30, and apparently Boris Johnson's addressing the nation at 8:30 p.m. as well. Probably to tell everyone that they're going to be forced to stay in for a fortnight or something daft like that. Who knows? But yeah, we don't want this podcast to be dominated by the coronavirus.
No, I'm not going to mention it.
No, we're done. We're done with the coronavirus. It's here. We know what's happening. Listen to the broadcast at 8:30 p.m. for the latest update. Right, we're done. No more corona. Right, so Nicola, what was on our list?
Well, you've got something there, Christopher.
Right, yeah, I'm gonna get started with the goblet that I finished this morning just before lunch. I think it was. That's started yesterday, so it's taken me about a day and a half to do. So I've called it Merlin. Now you've all seen the pictures, so here it is. So I'm just going to try. Nicola said if I hold my arms out like this.
Yeah, that's good.
So I've called it Merlin because most of the work on this was done. Well, most of the sculptured work was done with the Merlin 2 that Arthur Aveling and Nick Agar sent me to use. So let me. Oh, can they see the?
Yeah, it's sort of.
I've tilted it.
Hang on. No, you can't really
Got the light on it.
Yeah, it's not very easy to get it. You can just about make out. Oh, there you go. There's a bit of at the top. You can see the colour, but it's the same colour as it is on the outside. On the inside, can you just tip that down? It's right in my eyes. Thank you.
Thank you. So there it is. It's made from cedar. So a big shout out as well to British Hardwoods, who is my timber sponsor that provided this cedar, and it's power carved. Obviously, the main form was turned and hollowed out, and then the textural work has been done with the Merlin 2 and my percussive engraver, which has done the stippled effect around the rim. The fluting on the top of the rim has been done with the Merlin 2. And what I basically did was the fluting and the carving. I used Nick Agar's signature, very thin 3-sided disc first. And because I can't read the indexing numbers on my lathe, what I did was I locked the spindle off, and then I did the first one at north, and then turned it, and then felt when it was at east, and then did another one at north, rotated it. So I was just doing the points of the compass, northeast, southwest, by feel, and then doing northeast and southeast, and dividing it that way just by touch. And the same for the scalloped bit down here, if you can see that.
Yeah.
Again, that was done with a thin disc. And then what I did was I put a wider carbide disc on, and then I just basically held it static and let the weight of the Merlin go down. Now, it was interesting because I thought I don't want to go too deep. So do you know when you're making a parting cut with your parting tool and you don't give yourself wiggle room, and it can bind a bit as the metal expands and the wood expands, and it can sort of like just get a grip? Well, as the Merlin went down into the flutes, it sort of like, as it got to a certain depth, it grabbed. And I don't mean grab dangerously. I just felt there a bit of resistance, is what I'm trying to say. So I just went down all the way around until I felt the same resistance. So my mind used that as a depth gauge. When it felt the resistance, I'd stop and then do the next one again, moving around with the points of the compass. And then obviously it's got a little bead on the stem. So the colours on the main body are intrinsic. Well, first black, and then that was not back, and then it was intrinsic plum, and then I removed a couple of areas, and then it was intrinsic flame, and I did that on the inside as well. It smells amazing because it's cedar. And then the metal work on the base, that was percussive engraved to give it that.
That looks really cool.
Almost that aged, that aged pewter dish that we had.
Yeah,
it's an aged sort of like pewter effect, and Hampshire sheen, silver embellishing wax first, and light brushed, dry brushed on, and then a bit of silver and a bit of gold as well. So I hope you like it. So yeah, it's called Merlin.
Well, let me read you some comments. Circular Wood by Keith says, looks really good, Chris. Wayne Bigfoot Woodcraft would look great with dry ice in it, creating a smoke effect. Leona says, love the colours too. Flaming Turner looks very medieval. Fan Bloody Tastic is that goblet, Chris says, Steve Twidell. Really beautiful.
Thanks,
Wayne
Steve.
Bigfoot Woodcraft. And I think that's everybody. Steve says, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. So yeah,
Steve says you should do that wood turning crack for a living, Chris.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. I was going to say I could make a living, but no one is.
Christine and Michael Hesseltine.
Hi,
that
guys.
is amazing, Chris.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it was obviously it's hard for me, and my brain was really mush doing it. But every time my brain gets taxed by doing something like that, quite intricate, it's also a huge amount of fun, and it's tiring and taxing, but lots of fun. And it's as complex as it might feel, it wasn't that difficult to do. Again, once you've got some amazing tools and then you've got a good picture in your mind, just follow your heart and what's in your mind, and it should evolve. The thing is just having with me an inner eye, an eye for design and art and things like that. And if you can't think of things like that, plagiarize and steal images from medieval times and art elsewhere.
Well, I really like the shape.
Get inspiration. But I must say, a huge inspiration for it was a Wedgwood vase. The pedestal vase that Wedgwood do, and it has like that sculpting at the bottom where it balloons out. So
it has such a great smell, though.
And I was for a time going to use make some Wedgwood blue chalk paint and really make it look like a Wedgwood thing. But then in my head, I thought, oh, Merlin, medieval, something quite regal, So plum and purples are regal and reds and golds and silvers. So
I think that looks really good, like it is.
yeah, so when it ended up being medieval, not really a homage to Wedgwood. But
that's because we were watching the Great British Pottery Throwdown.
Yeah, the Wedgwood thing. Well, this is it. You get inspiration from all over the place.
Yeah.
And, I often watch programs, I'm not a potter, probably never will be. We've had a go at it and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I listen to that and I like listening to that program thinking, how can I take what I've heard in that pottery program and sort of like switch it around into wood turning? So if you get the opportunity to watch all these great programs, whatever they are, just because it's pottery and you're thinking I'm not a potter, give them a listen because you'll get inspiration from everywhere.
It was really good, that program. It was the first series we've watched. I don't know. You just said, "Oh, shall we try that?" Didn't you?
I've listened to it before.
Oh, have you? I haven't. It was the first one that I'd seen, but it was really good. And some of the stuff that they made, it was really amazing, really beautiful stuff, and really gifted potters.
Yeah.
But it was just interesting, and it was Keith, who is one of the judges. He's always crying, isn't he?
Yeah, he gets very emotional.
He gets moved by people's skill and what they've made.
Yeah, he sort of like wells up and he gets choked up and he's very passionate about it all.
Yeah. Steve says, I have a wedge of wood holding the living room door open. Maple Tree Studios, he's here. Hello.
Hiya.
Michael, this is Michael Hesseltine. Michael is a little better but still coughing. Spoke to the GP and have prescription going to chemist for a different antibiotic. Well, we hope he does get well soon, and that it's not long before he's feeling a lot better.
Yeah.
So you've been doing power carving and colouring quite a bit.
Yeah, there was the Ammonite bowl that I did a couple of weeks ago, which was my first big job with the Merlin too. And that was a lot of fun. So it was obviously a bowl, but I'd done sort of like the underneath as the spiral of the Ammonite. And that was a lot of fun. And again, coloured and textured. So that was my first, and that was a sort of like, it's quite big and chunky really. Just while I was getting my brain programmed into how the machine felt and things. But having done that and realised, it's such a great bit of kit, I've been able to go a bit finer and more intricate on this goblet. But I also used it on the demo that we did at Eden Valley a few weeks ago, didn't I? And most of the audience hadn't seen a Merlin 2 in action. So that was good. But I kept that design simple.
That was our last demo, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was our last demo.
I'll tell you something interesting, though. We got there quite early. This is Eden Valley, and this is...
in the lakes.
Yeah, up in Cumbria, near Appleby. And we were there early, and I walked down the road just for a bit, didn't I? And then I came back. And I saw on the barbed wire fence these little animals, and I wasn't sure what they were at first, but they're moles, and the mole catcher, he puts them on the barbed wire fence to show that he's done his job.
So they get paid.
Yeah, it was, it's quite brutal, but I just found it quite fascinating. Just one of these traditions, and poor little moles, but yeah, it was I'd never seen that before. But that was in a village hall, wasn't it? And then it absolutely threw it down.
Yeah, it was raining horizontally whilst we were unloading the car and packing up again, and the village hall, even though it had heating, you were really cold.
Yeah,
sat in the hall, weren't you?
I couldn't get warm at all. It was just really cold. I had my coat on all the time, and I was really glad to get back in the car and start getting a bit warmed up.
Yeah, and since then everything's been postponed.
Yeah.
People have just been getting in touch with us. I'm saying
Well, everything, all of the demos and events have been cancelled up to the end of May at the minute. Tiny Turner's on as well.
Hi, Emma.
Hi. Let me just have a look, see what people have been saying. So we've got SK Crafts as well.
How do?
We've got Scott, the Blue Light Turner, creating shavings since 2016.
Oh, it's a long time since we said that. Normally we just get Blue Light Turner when it pops up on Instagram and things like that.
We've got Glyn as well. Hi, Glyn.
Hi, Glyn. Yeah, demos postponed.
Yeah.
So we've
and obviously Make Essentials postponed as well.
Yeah, which is a bit of a shit.
Yeah, but there's nothing you can do about it.
No.
But yeah, we're really hoping that once things settle down and we get out of this, that all these events will be back on and we can meet up again.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of people obviously working from home now.
Yeah.
And homeschooling. Yeah, you mentioned that this morning. So
yeah, I've been looking at people on Instagram talking about homeschooling, and it's just quite funny reading people's posts. I read one, it was a little video of a little girl in a back garden doing PE, and her dad had put sort of obstacles around the back garden for her to jump on or jump over and run round. And somebody else mentioned this morning that their children were really excited about homeschooling, and they'd created a name for the school. They created like a school crest, a motto. They'd done a whole timetable for the whole week, and it was just, I don't know, it was just really sweet.
But you read something like a woman had put, there's been arguments already this morning, and we haven't even started class or something.
Yeah.
Funny.
So,
what else has happened?
It's really weird, this coming back. It seems to have been such a long time.
Yeah, before I've got something that I want to say, actually, just before we talk about the house and things. As you all know, Nicola has got her own project going. It's called Follow Your Bliss and Seed to Source. Now, she said before that, and I'm not, this isn't a pity party, but she said, I've only had 9 likes, so I went on my phone and sort of like went on Nicola's at Seed to Source on Instagram, and Nicola's been doing some great podcasts, and you've had some great podcast guests. And really, this is just, it's, Nicola, even though Nicola doesn't go in a workshop and make stuff, or she doesn't hammer anything together, or she doesn't turn, even though we have said we're going to video you turning over the next few weeks. So Nicola's going to actually get on the lathe. So stay tuned for that. We're going to video Nicola getting on the lathe, spindle blank, roughing out, starting with the basics, tool control, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, just because Nicola isn't, a hammerer, gluer, stapler, turner, welder, Nicola is a very integral part of the maker community, and not only because she's so important to me, but she's very creative with her writing, her journaling, just things she thinks about, and she's very philosophical. And you all know she's a an academic, and she's been to the Sorbonne. Anyway, listen, please, I know it's not in your workshop, but Nicola's very creative, and can you get over to Seed to Source? I'll get it right in a minute. Can you get over at Seed to Source and, give her a like and listen to her podcast and give her as much support as you can? Because when she said to me before, I've only had 9 likes, I thought that just sucks, and there's more people at home than ever now, being able to access this stuff. So can you do a big favor for me and help one of our fellow makers in the community, Nicola, my amazing wife? Just because you don't get in the workshop and hammer stuff together, she's still, very creative. So at Seed to Source, everybody, and I'd really appreciate that. And let's put a big smile on her face And if you've got a few minutes to kill, listen to one of her amazing podcasts. She has some great guests. You know, it really does get you thinking about what's going on in the world now, and this how it might be a catalyst. You can talk more about what you do better than I can. I just thought I'd get a big shout out for you there.
Thank you. That was really nice.
Yeah, it was. You'll have to marry me now.
Yeah, I think I'll marry you.
Bottle of wine after we finish. Oh, it's funny. So please. I don't beg often, but yeah, that'd be really cool. She sounded down when she told me. I've only got 9 likes. I thought,
I know. Well, and it's I've got a podcast called Follow Your Bliss. So I've been talking to a few people that I know who have changed their lives by maybe giving up their job and following their curiosity or following something that they really wanted to do. So yeah, the podcasts are all about that really, and the journey that people take from doing something conventional and then going to do something that's a bit more unconventional. So that's my podcast, and
it's applicable to lots of us because there's so many of us listening that, you know, it's like, you know, Wayne Clasper, you know, Wayne, you know, he demonstrates and teaches, and, you know, there's a lot of us, you know, that sort of like, and now having our at one time hobbies play such a huge integral part of our main lives, and, you know, earning income for us and things like that, and, you know, appearing in public and things. So what Nicola writes and talks about and has guests on about, it really is applicable to, you know, most of us, especially in the maker community.
Well, we did that podcast, didn't we, that I've used for my ebook.
Yeah.
And your story is just a classic example. But the one that was on today, Karen, it was quite interesting when I was editing it and listening back to it, because it's just so relevant for, you know, where we are now and what people are thinking. And even though we weren't talking about that because we recorded it several weeks ago, the themes of, you know, following what interests you, following your curiosity, working through things. And she talked about her grandma, who was quite a force to be reckoned with, and it was just, you know, really interesting.
What you have been talking about and writing about for years has come round now to smack us all in the face. It's here, you know, and, you know, your philosophy and how you think we should be living and things like that, you know, it's been forced upon us to, you know.
Well, it has, and I think, you know, I think we've kind of gone so far down the industrial, what do you call it? You know, commercial route, and people.
Well, we're so heavily plugged into the military industrial complex, and Eisenhower, as he retired, said, "Beware the military industrial complex." Now, you know, if you want to quote, you know, some film terminology, you know, we're all plugged into the matrix, and, you know, we are, and, you know, so many people rely on that, work all week, spend all weekend shopping and spending all the money they've earned and feeding the military industrial complex, and all these huge global conglomerates getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you know, and the amount of money that goes missing, you know, it's in the trillions, and it can't be accounted for, you know. And you and I, you know, we're a big advocate of sort of like the I'm not going to say the alien conspiracy, because I'm completely sold on the whole thing, and I've believed in, you know, alien life and extraterrestrials, and, you know, I've listened to Chariots of the Gods about 50 billion times. But, you know, if you listen to stuff by Dr. Stephen Greer about 0 point energy and free energy, you know, it's at this time when things like this happen, a huge pandemic, that you can think, well, you know, it's really all coming true. But yeah, the military industrial complex, they just want us to earn money and then shove it back into the system.
Well, I wrote a blog. Well, I didn't write a blog post today. I wrote a blog post in January, and it sat in my drafts because it just didn't feel relevant then. And I thought, right, I'll sit down, write my blog post today, and I had a look in some of my draft posts, and I decided I was going to clear some out. And I got to this one that I've posted today, and I basically just put it up as it was. I just tagged on the bottom. I did actually write this in January. But yeah, it's so relevant, and just really talking about just to focus. I think we've just got to reprioritize. And I think, you know, if Boris Johnson does say that we're all in lockdown, then it's just part of that process. But I don't see any of this as a bad thing. I think ultimately at the end of the day, it's going to be positive. I know it could be traumatic for a number of people, and it already has been, but I think on a wider scale, it's actually going to there's going to be a silver lining.
There's going to be a lot of scary times for some people ahead, but ultimately, you know, we can get through this. And it's, you know, I've heard already, you know, since the coronavirus outbreak that, you know, look, you know, we got through, well, the people that are very old now, you know, lived through the Second World War, and they're saying, what's all the bloody hubbub about? And, you know, we feared for our lives every night, you know, when we're being bombed and things, and they can't understand why they're being told to stay at home. And, you know, people are saying, look, if I get it, I get it. I'm bloody 90. Who cares? Let me live my life on my own terms.
Well, there was a funny, some funny tweets about children, you know, like our age, talking about how do you ground your parents, because all these, you know, OAPs were saying things like, oh, I've just popped out to the shop, and
they've been going AWOL, haven't they?
And the kids are saying, you can't go out, you've got to stay at home. We'll go to the shops. And it was so funny. It was just really
But I think
funny.
Seriously, you know, it's, you know, if there are elderly people, really elderly people in your community, and you can help, all joking aside now, because we've done it for Mark and Mel next door. Mark hasn't got the coronavirus, but he's had a cough, hasn't he?
So they're in isolation.
And they're both scientists. Mel does still work in the labs, and Mark used to work in the lab, and now he travels the world, or did, selling medical equipment for a big company. So they're both in self-isolation, but their kids are coming out to play, aren't they?
No.
Oh, their kids aren't. No. Oh, I've heard kids out playing.
Yeah, they're not there.
All right. Well, the whole family, 4 of them. So you made some cakes, and you baked a loaf of bread, and we gave them some gravy
and peas
that they were. So it's just, you know,
shopping.
Us. Again, you know what us Brits are great at is getting in our sheds and workshops and garages and making things. And it's also, you know, we can tough it out better than most people, can't we? You know, let's make ourselves proud and step up to the plate if we're able to. And there's some elderly people, or
well, I think, like you say, you makers are at an advantage in a way, because, you know, when you've got a lot of time on your hands, if you can do something creative, then for me, it makes me feel like I've done something, and I've been more productive, and I've achieved something. And I think there's a lot to be said for people who do have that creativity, and they can actually say, well, look, I've got, you know, I mean, say Boris Johnson does say, right, you're all in lockdown for 2 weeks. You know, it's something that people can cope with, and they can use the time constructively. I mean, you've been in the workshop pretty much every day, haven't you?
Non-stop,
I mean, I can be working on my stuff all the time anyway. You know, I can be writing, and I've got things that I want to do. It's just the photography that I can't do much of.
Well, you know, I thought, as soon as it was like, well, we've sort of like self-isolated. But we joke, you know, the fact that we've got no mates anyway. it's you know, normal service has been resumed for us. Although the demos and the travelling has been postponed. You know, we're sort of like, we do what we need to do, and then we sort of like keep ourselves to ourselves with Charlie. But yeah, I've immersed myself in my woodturning and thought, rather than going to a demo and saying, right, well, here's this new gadget, and having a bit of a practice at a demo, which is great and it's a lot of fun, but you know, it's like demonstration conditions, so you're under time constraints, and you know, you're trying to engage with the audience and things like that. I've had some great time to say, right, I can spend a whole day with this Merlin 2 and really get to know how it feels and how it sounds and how it operates, and you know, and it's, I think, you know, this Gobblers, you know, just the proof of the pudding is, you know, I've been able to really knuckle down, which is difficult when normal life is happening, because it's like, oh, well, we've got to go to the bank and we've got to do a demo and we've got to travel here and we've got to do that and things, this, that, and the other. So it's in some ways it's paid dividends already. The fact that I've been in the workshop every day, all day, every day, turning. So
let's see what everyone said. Andy Pugh, he says hi all.
Hi Andy.
Scott says he's social distancing from the missus in the workshop, prepping for makers and building up stock for craft fairs.
Good idea.
Stay says, what have we had for tea? Or what's everybody had for tea? We had fish. I think we had fish last time you asked us. Fish and veg.
Fish and veg, yeah. We're still eating healthily.
Yeah, Mr. Reuben, I'm in IT, so I'm working from home without a problem.
That's cool.
Except now there's a little one making noise in the background. Well, I read today that everybody's investing in noise cancelling headphones.
Are they?
Yeah, because if you're working at home with the kids and you need noise cancelling headphones.
Oh, right, okay.
So yeah, there's a run on those apparently. So what else? Joe says, I've isolated Glyn to the workshop. Leona says, I love the community spirit that's been shown due to this. Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, the people that I chat to on Instagram, they're all trying to do something positive, and everybody's trying to use their skills and help other people. Yeah, I think it's bringing out the best in a lot of people. SK Craft says, I've isolated myself to the workshop for the next 12 weeks. Oh, Mr. Reuben. Oh, he's asked, are we doing this every Monday evening?
Yeah, certainly during the...
Well, just hang on. Wayne said 7:30. And he said, I'll find another time slot for my premieres then. I'm so sorry. We're really not doing great. Are we gate crashing everybody's time slots? Very sorry about that. We used to do At Home with the Fishes every Monday at 7:30. So we've kind of just fallen back into that slot. But yeah, I apologize. So what else? Oh, it's sort of goes back. Monday nights are now complete again, says Maple Tree Studios.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Reuben.
Yeah, it's so difficult. We were I was talking to the Tiny Turner, because you've talked about doing some live demos and live turning.
Yeah, well, Emma wants to do some.
Yeah.
Wayne.
Yeah.
That's Wayne Clasper.
And well, I've got a list of
Martin.
Everybody. Yeah, there's a whole schedule of.
But also, you know, you fall into the trap of, well, if we hang fire and don't do anything, there's that many people now wanting to come on. There's going to be a point where you say, well, when can I do mine?
Yeah.
You know, so at the end of the day, it's going to be a case of, it might end up that we just flood YouTube with live wood turning. I think what we have said, though, is we are going to do our live wood turning videos probably on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah,
you know,
we were trying to find a slot. We said maybe Tuesday evening.
You know, leave the evenings.
Yeah, maybe do a weekday in the afternoon or something.
Yeah, we've got to thrash it out.
Yeah, we've not quite got. We sort of talked tentatively, and then we haven't confirmed what we're doing. But yeah, we were going to do some of those, really, weren't we?
Yeah. There you have it.
Yeah. And we can't get any loo rolls.
No.
So I keep thinking about that video that you made and wishing that we got that pile of loo rolls.
Yeah, when Nicholas asked me, how does a blind guy know that his ass is clean? So I did a video on YouTube. So we've got a few left, but every time you go to the supermarché,
oh, it's just an empty gap.
An empty pallet.
Yeah.
We have got a contingency plan.
Yeah, we have got a contingency plan.
And we won't be so vulgar as to divulge it.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
We'll be all right. We've thought of a solution. Bamba, come here. Knew his tail would come in handy for something.
Oh. So, yeah, what else are we going to talk about?
The house
move. Yeah,
the house. Yeah. What was it? We sold the house
about 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago. We sold the house to a lovely couple. They're now Mr. and Mrs. Floyd, because the week after they made us an offer, they flew to Mauritius to get married. They've got 4 kids ranging from 9 to 20, so they were after a big ranch like this.
Good job they got married when they did.
I know, otherwise
a couple of weeks later and they would have been off.
Well, they got the honeymoon, didn't they?
Yeah.
So we were able. Luckily, we didn't get gazumped on the coach house. We'd put an offer in Derbyshire as far back as October last year. We hadn't been gazumped. We were worrying. It's like, gosh, the longer it takes us to sell our property, someone could go in under the radar and sort of like oust us. So we secured that. So it's just sort of like the legal stuff now is taking over, isn't it? And the solicitors are on it.
Yeah.
And luckily, in this day and age, a lot of it can all be done via eMither and, the internet, emails and the internet.
Yeah.
So, we're still moving. They've got their solicitors on it in Derbyshire. We've got ours on it. I'm sure the Floyds that are buying this have got, so there is a bit of a chain, but it's done. So we're moving to Derbyshire. Yeah, should be there by the summer. Hopefully before. But
well, hopefully it won't be too delayed.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't really delay us much. I mean, we'd move from this house, drive 2 hours and go into another house so we can drive and isolate. We can spend time unpacking, can't we, in isolation? So I don't think that should stop the move, really. It might do by a week or 2, but who knows? But yeah, we've sold, so we're really pleased about that. So the property that we bought, it's
well, the owner said, what did you say you will be changing the house name to?
Oh, the old coach house.
Yeah. I don't know whether it was called that at any time.
It was. That's what it is.
That's what the function of it was. But yeah, that's what we want to do. So
and the report that got sent through from Derbyshire, telling us about what the current owners are leaving and what they're taking with them.
Yeah.
It said that what the estate agents called it a single garage. But it isn't that. It's where they used to store the carriages when it was a coach house. And you found on the farm that it was not two properties as such, but it was one building that had 2 purposes. And we think that one end of the house was the coaching and the other end was for servants. And what's going to be my workshop, it mentioned it as a barn. So there had been some construction work to put a wall up.
Yeah, well, there's breeze blocks, aren't there,
on that wall in the workshop.
Yeah.
It used to be the barn. So there's 2 front doors at the property, and at each front door, there's a little hall, and there's 2 staircases, one at either end of the property. So as you're looking at the front of the coach house, the door to the right has its own staircase, it has its own toilet, it had its own kitchen, and that can be locked off separately. And we have said, even though it's not certain, the potential is there for amazing wood turning breaks. Because if we had someone come to have a wood turning break and they wanted to bring a partner, they could lock off that end of the house. Really,
Mm.
they'd have their own front door and their own front door key, their own toilet, their own shower, their own little kitchen, obviously bedroom and things. So you could come and go as you wanted. So it's ideas we're thrashing around. We're not certain we're going to do that.
Book her in.
Book you in. Book her in. So that's something we can. And the previous owners, the current owners rather, not in yet, previous owners, the current owners did have it as a holiday let.
Yeah, but I think it was back in the 1980s. They've been in the house for 40 years. So yeah, they used to let it for holiday lets. I don't think we'd be doing that.
No, well,
it's not really my bag.
No, it's not. I think I'd be very happy to have wood turners over.
Yeah.
Wood turners over, people that we could call friends, and you would have access to your own door and things like that. So you could use it as a bit of a break, especially if you brought, the partner, wife, husband, whatever. We think, we would get round to doing that. We're still going to charge you. Especially in this day and age, got to recoup some dollars. So, but yeah, it's a good idea. All joking aside, it's a good idea to have maybe some wood turning breaks, but needs a lot of thinking about, and the legalities of it as well, and how do we conform. But yeah, the property, just to reiterate, because it's an amazing property, it's sort of like late Georgian period, so it's before. Well, it's after 1800, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's got 5 bedrooms. It's got a cellar with a vaulted roof, the archy brick roof with a stone floor. We've already called it the parlour. It's got a parlour, a lounge, the cellar,
log burners.
Yeah, real fires, lots of period features.
Yeah.
Really nice property. Sunken courtyard is what you'd call the backyard with cobbles. It's got a balcony outside the dining room, so you can sit out there and write in your journal and look at the Derbyshire countryside views. And 2 front doors, great workshop. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, so it's exciting.
It is exciting.
I've just been told that Amazon have cancelled all subscriptions and have opened their whole collection of children's books and stories and audio stories for free. Yeah, I got an email yesterday, Steve, about Audible, and it's well worth looking at. I had a look, and there are some kids, teens, and then the classics, things like Jane Eyre and I don't know, Last of the Mohicans. So stuff that I would listen to. But yeah, I think that's pretty brilliant. So I don't know if they've cancelled all their subscriptions or they've just made a section of stuff available for free, but I think it's great. And I think it's lovely what people have been doing, though. I've been doing some stuff this week that somebody's offered for free. People are doing yoga classes, exercise classes, all sorts of stuff that people are doing. So, it's worth just having a look out and seeing if there's anything that you've always wanted to do and see whether you could do it now. And
I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna say that, if you could make something for someone that's, isolated and they're feeling a bit, make something to cheer them up. I'm thinking a bit off piste here, but if you think of someone that lives near you and might be feeling a bit blue and you've got a bit of time, make them something, and you can just knock on the door and leg it like we used to do back in the day.
Knock and run.
Yeah, knock a door, run. Yeah, don't do light and shite though. Don't set your project on fire like we used to. But yeah, if you want to make something for someone that you think could do with a bit of a cheering up, and do it.
Christine and Michael said, is there a wine cellar? Well, the cellar is probably going to be where we would put wine and stuff.
Well, we're actually going to turn it. It's funny you should say that. We're going to turn it into our own deli.
Yeah.
And the cellar, we're going to have it a place to keep sort of like nice cheese and nice cooked meats and deli meats and nice olive oils and things like that. So, you know, like all the stuff you'd find in a deli.
It's very cold down there.
Which,
so yeah, we can use it sort of
it's not damp though, it's
as
just
a cold store. But the village that we're moving to, there aren't any shops. So given our extremely poor track record in food shopping, we're going to have to be really organised. But I suppose in a way we're getting a good practice at the minute.
But we said, you know, in the cellar we'll get it kitted out lovely with some beautiful shelves, and you know, I'll even make a sort of like a little table with a chopping block on it, so you know we can cut nice salamis and meats and cheeses on it. So it really will be like a little deli, and of course I'll have wine and mead down there, and so yeah. But yeah, it could be back in the day it was their cold storage, wasn't it? It was the cellar for the coach house.
Wayne Bigfoot says he's just done that, posted some gifts this morning. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, brilliant. Well done.
Yeah. So, anything else? Has anybody got anything they want to ask us?
Yeah.
Any burning questions? I hope you're all doing okay, and we're looking forward to catching up with you. Hopefully at Makers Central when that's rescheduled. I'm not sure what the provisional date is. Was it August? Might be August 8th and 9th, but obviously who knows what's going to happen
and
between.
The Newark show, they're talking 19th, 20th of June at the minute.
Yeah.
So that was another one. Because the Newark show and Makers, we're both working for Tormek. Well, we're not both working for Tormek.
Can you bake me some cupcakes? Well, I could. I managed to get some eggs today, but I haven't got any butter because they didn't have any butter in the supermarket. So I need to go and scout round and see if I can get
might
some
have some
butter.
In the co-op
Yeah, I might. I think I'm going to the co-op after this.
I nearly said something weird then. I said, can you see the blind wink?
I can. You can't.
No. Oh, that was funny. That Instagram post I did a couple of weeks ago. We were doing sort of like Nicola had filmed sort of like 4 or 5 short clips for my Instagram stories. And you were moving. You said, right, I'll stand there. Yeah. You said, I'll stand there. And right. And so anyway, I'd lost track of listening to where Nicola was going.
I was just trying to put a bit of variety into it all.
So she said, right there. So I was convinced that Nicola was still stood in front of me. So I'm there, you know, doing this little Instagram, and she's here, and she went, "No, I'm over here." And she cracked up laughing. So yeah, this is how we treat my disability. Yeah, it's like she went, "I'm over here," and I went, "Oh God, yeah." And I just normally I'm really in tune with where people are walking, and I'm listening.
That's why it was so funny, though.
And I just completely forgot where she was. But it's like Nicola could be sat next to me, and we could be having a chat, and Nicola could say something. And then she'd just put a hand on me. And because you can't see it, even though she's only 6 inches away, she could put a hand on me and I'd jump out my skin. You know, it bloody scares the life out of me. Because I have no vision. So even 6 inches away, if she just goes, "Hey, Chris," I go, "Bloody hell, what?" And it's really weird being blind. And this is why there's times when it can be scary and sad and it can make you angry and things. But that was a very funny moment when she went, "No, I'm over here." So she was sat to my left. And I thought she was stood in front of me.
So that was a blind moment.
That was a proper big blind moment.
Oh, Wayne says he'll ship me some butter. Yeah, and put a few loo rolls in as well because we're getting desperate here. Steve Twidell says, "I turned a very long, thin-stemmed goblet last night. Just wondering if Chris has ever attempted one."
No, not a long, thin-stemmed one. No, but I shall.
I could maybe do one this week.
Yeah, well, yeah, leave it for Nicola now. Yeah, she's going to get on the lathe. That'd be a good beginner's project.
Yeah.
Not.
Oh, I'll tell you what's going to be a really funny moment.
Oh.
Obviously can't go to the hairdressers, and my hairdressers is closed now, as I'm sure most hairdressers have. So Chris is going to cut my hair.
Yeah, I'm going to get the clippers out, and we're going to get the longest comb attachment.
Yeah,
because you don't want a number 1 all over. Mine's due for a cut, but I'm going to get the longest attachment, so it could be a 4 or a 5. I don't know what I've got. They have numbers stamped on them. You'll be able to read. So I've not to touch Nicola's fringe.
No, because my dad once cut my hair for me because I couldn't get to the hairdressers, and the rest of my hair was okay. And then he sort of went on my fringe, and I ended up literally with, I can't really do it, but I had a hole in my fringe. So I had to sort of brush it all over. So yeah, you can't do the fringe, you can do the rest, but yeah, we're going to do it on live. I'm going to do that. Yeah, we can do it live.
Well, there you go. And we're going to show you, can it?
Yeah, I'd already thought of that.
What, cut your hair live? Me cutting your hair live? Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I'm not really that fussed whether it is too short or doesn't really bother me.
I'm saying, well, before, I cut my own hair, and I say to myself, well, you can't really make a mistake with these clippers. But
there's always a first time.
Yeah, there is always a first time.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be live. Number 1 all over. No, we're not doing number 1, Steve.
No, that's for me.
Yeah, it won't be number 1. But yeah, I just thought, because I don't like my hair too long, it gets on my nerves. I like it easily manageable, so I should have been going on Wednesday.
And I phoned the vet today. Bamba's in need of some more thyroid medication, so I phoned the vet today and said, what are your protocols? So they said basically ring us when you're outside and we'll come and throw it through the front door at you, didn't they? So they're not even letting anybody into the vet. So they said ring when you're in the car park, we'll come to the door and put it on the step. And it's a big practice, isn't it? But it's funny. So, which is right. I mean, yeah, if you can get away with zero contact, do it. So that's where you're going tomorrow as well. To pick this.
Yeah, Maple Tree said PM to address UK at 8:30. Wayne Bigfoot, I made a mistake on a mate's hair, never seen him since. Well, do it soon, at least that way it'll have grown back by the time Makers comes round. Bag the shavings when you do the haircut, Nicola, and cast them in resin. My hair grows really quickly anyway. Yeah. But it tends to, instead of growing long, it just tends to grow out. That's why I keep it short.
Like an afro?
Well, it just sort of, I tried to grow it long, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. And it just doesn't really grow down. It just sort of
didn't you used to have long hair?
Oh, yeah, when I was little.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think your hair's different when you're little.
Well, everything changes, doesn't it? And your hair's, thick and got lots of body.
Yeah, at least I don't have to rely on you to colour it for me.
I could do that. Yeah, get the airbrush out. Oh yeah, I brought my airbrush today. Yeah, I was cleaning it after using it on the Merlin goblet, and I dropped it, and it fell like toast does, butter side down. It just nosedived, and then the needle tip snapped off with the threaded bit still inside the nose part. So I couldn't get it out. So luckily they're nice and cheap on Amazon.
Yeah. So I ordered one today.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, it was the same one. So that at least if they stop delivering post, at least you'll have that.
Yeah. Because it's great just to be doing stuff in the workshop for me.
Leona says, I missed you too.
Oh.
That's very nice, but
we've missed you guys as well.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite nice to be doing this again.
It is. We've had a laugh, haven't we, tonight?
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? Yeah, and it's not like I'm trying to keep us in touch with as many people as I can on Instagram. And those of you that are obviously sending lots of nice comments, that's really good. Obviously, bear in mind with Instagram, for me, you know, if you go on, what is it? Sort of like the let's call it the home page.
Yeah.
And then obviously you lot can be scrolling through and looking at who's posted lately. And obviously you've got a photograph. That's no good to me. So it's really awkward for me to trawl through.
And the stories as well.
And the stories, yeah, it does
not accessible, are they?
No, for some reason, Instagram stories do not speak. They are not compatible with screen reading software on my phone. So I'm trying to sort of like, something, because I think Wayne had done, it came up with a U-Hollow form, and I don't know where to click, and it's all over the place. It's a lot easier than Facebook for me, and I am getting better. So
you do really well.
So bear with me. But, you know, it's like, you know, I can't, you know how you could just flick through the screen very quickly, find someone that you know, and go, oh, right, yeah, great. Click on that, like, send them a comment. I can't. And so, yeah, bear with me. I am trying to get more interactive with you guys on Instagram and like more stuff, but it's tough. It's hard for me. But I'm giving it my best go.
I used to do Instagram for you, but I showed you how to do it, and you've been doing really well.
Well, you taught me the basics, and I'm trying to, as a goal, teach myself how to do. So I'm trying to get, you know, with atting people and tagging them in and trying to find where the like symbol is. If like Wayne's done this or Valerie's done that, or, you know, Slave to the Lathe or whoever, and, you know, I'm trying to find, but, you know, it can be like that. Sometimes trying to hit the button on the screen can take me 8 or 9 goes, and then sometimes I can go, I've had enough. I'll try again later, and then I forget. You know, like you guys can just go, and it's good for me. I can be tapping around the screen, and sod's law is I'm never quite right on it, and I get frustrated. I am trying to get more interactive and like more of your stuff. I just wanted to say that I appreciate all of you getting in touch with me, and I should be reciprocating, and I am, and I'm getting better. It's just a massive task for the blind to navigate stuff like that. Yeah. So.
And Facebook is quite a difficult one.
I don't do it at all.
Chris doesn't do Facebook, and I sometimes log into his account just to see what's going on, but there's just so much on Facebook, I can't keep up with it either. So yeah, we do things get posted automatically onto Facebook, but it's a bit of a black
for
hole,
me
really.
To troll through Instagram on that homepage and like everything that you're all doing would take me days. Whereas a sighted person, like I say, you can scroll through and you see just a glance and you go, right, that's it, I like that, or a comment. For me, it takes days and days to troll through that sort of stuff. So I'm sorry, but I'm trying.
Well, it's nearly 8:30, so in case people want to go, and listen to Boris.
All hail Overlord Johnson.
Valerie is chuffed to bits every time you like her posts.
Thanks, Valerie. Me too, likewise. And Wayne and everything. All of you guys, thank you so very much. I really do. Whenever you comment, I try to, at the very least, like it or comment and just say thank you as often as I can. But please bear with me. It's really difficult for me to use things like Instagram and Facebook. But I'm getting better and I'm trying. All right.
Well, thank you all very much for joining us tonight. It's been good to
catch up.
Yeah, to do this again. So we will be back Monday 7:30 at Home with the Fishers.
Yeah. With more
waffle
and shenanigans.
Yeah. But wishing you all the very best. Look after yourselves, and thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, and never more, as my saying, keep on turning, been so poignant.
Yeah.
Keep on turning, everybody.
Yeah.
In more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? Keep on turning.
All right.
All right then.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Go and
Bye.
get a glass of wine now.